hails from Chittoor, our native town. That is one more, reason which gives all of us to be happy on this occasion. Thank you, Himesh, and I request you to start the session now.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thank you for your beautiful words and introduction. Uh, I used to continue and conduct more sessions like this. Helping students is been my major goal. Thank you. Okay, so let's start with the session. Okay, so today what we are doing is we are going to start with types of robots. I would like to share some slides. I think I can do that. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So I think the presentation is also there. Okay. So whenever we talk about robots, okay, so we think of one thing. What is that? A humanoid robot, right? Okay. So we have seen movies. We have seen uh, in different videos and YouTube videos. We see robots. Okay. So whenever we think about robots, we just expect it to be a robot which is just looking like a human being. But robots is not that. Okay, so robots is much more than that. Okay, so this is a special type of robot called humanoid. Whatever we are seeing here, this is a special type of robot called humanoid robot, and these things you can only see in movies. Okay, there are humanoid robots outside as well, but there are under research. Okay, but till today there is no perfect humanoid robot that is capable. In order to do that, we need something called artificial intelligence and robotics to work in hand to build a humanoid robot. But what are robots today? Like, what are we actually using them for? Where are we using them? And do we see them daily? Okay, so a robot is nothing but anything that does the task that allocated repeatedly. So if I tell you something to do, okay, let's say I'll ask you to go and fetch me vegetables from a supermarket. You go and do that. And if your job is only that, so let's say every day in the morning 6 o'clock, you are going to supermarket, fetching the vegetables and putting in your home. If you are doing that repeatedly every day, so then you're also called as robot. Okay, but we don't do that. We are human beings, right? When our parents ask us to go by 6 o'clock, we go by 6:10 or 6:11, maybe 7, or we don't go at all. Okay, so we are human beings, but robots doesn't do that. Okay, robots, when you program them to go at 6 o'clock, they will go at 6 o'clock no matter what happens. Okay, so do we see any robots in our day-to-day life? Okay, so I mean, we see a lot of machines around us. Is there any robot that does the task repeatedly every day that we see day-to-day life? I would say that since this is not, I don't think this is an interactive session. Okay, anyways, I'll say that we have our watch. Okay, our normal watch. So which is basically by 12 o'clock, it shows you 1 o'clock by 1 o'clock. So it does its job repeatedly every day. So it's also a robot. You are wearing a robot, people are wearing a robots in our hands. So that is one type of robot. There are other types of robots. There are driving robots. So basically, nowadays, if you can see many trains, so they don't have drivers. Okay, so robots drive them. So basically, what is the train supposed to do? It is supposed to start at one point, end at another point, and they have a stops in between, right? So these trains are driven by robots. I don't think this will see in India, but in many other parts, Japan, US, UK. So we have these robots that drive trains. Okay, and there is a emerging technology where there are robots that can drive our cars. Okay, not just in movies. Okay, there are robots that can drive our cars. So that's called self-driving vehicles. So, so this is omnidirectional robots. So, have you ever seen a car move sideways? Like imagine your car, it is going forward. Okay, some obstacle came, so it can simply move sideways. Okay, so if that happens, that's an omnidirectional robot. So it can move eight directions, but your car can move only forward and back. Or if you are taking reverse, you have to turn your steering wheel and you have to do reverse, right? But an omnidirectional robot is something that can go in any direction. It's like you can imagine like a ball. Okay, so which can go in any direction. And there are these robots called flying robots, such as your drones. Okay, I think nowadays everyone is aware of drones. Okay, but drones is there from past 20 years, but today it has come so affordable and so cheap that even you can buy it as a toy, like for 1,000 rupees. Okay, so but earlier drones are used only with military weapons and military grade people to use for surveillance or military activities. But today, I think you can see flying robots all around us with which is having some fans. Okay, it just look like helicopters, and it just flies around, and you can do surveillance, or you can simply use it as a toy. You can do things like fertilizing your crops. You can pick and play something, like you can order a food or something like that. So it has a lot of use case, but we haven't used it yet. Okay, so we will get there in due course, and there is a lot of rules, regulations has to be followed. Simply, people cannot fly drones, right? And there is this thing called balancing robots. So balancing robots in the sense, whenever you have a balance to be maintained. Let's say you're running in a bike. Okay, who is balancing it? You are balancing it, right? You are sitting on the bike and you're trying to balance the bike so that the bike doesn't fall. If you stop driving and stop balancing it, the bike will fall, right? So same way, if a robot want to balance, like let's say they want to balance your bike. So there are robots such kind of robots where it can detect whether it is tilting right or tilting left, and balance. Walking robots. So yeah, walking robots means you can imagine humanoids, but there are robots like six-legged walking robots, which is basically like your mosquito. Mosquito has six legs, but in a much bigger scale. Bipedal robots in the sense only two legs. Okay, so there are four legs, six legs, bipedal, and wheels. You can use robots as wheels. Okay, so all this talk I'm giving without any images. So I would like to show some images so that you can get a better understanding and better idea. Okay, so if you ever want to study robotics, you might learn something like this, which you will feel that okay, this is not robotics, but this is something that make robotics program. Okay, so in this image, what we're seeing is robots assembling car. Okay, so there are different type of robots which each has a specific task to do. Okay, so let's say this particular robot wants to, is programmed to assemble a wheel, and this particular robot is programmed to assemble the left wheel. So it will only do that. Okay, so this robot cannot do this robot task, and this robot will not do this robot tasks. So it is programmed to do assemble a left wheel. This robot is programmed to assemble a right wheel, and they will only do that. And the remaining robots might assemble uh, doors, roof, whatever. Okay, so each robot is doing its own specific task, and together they are working and they're making a car. So I don't think the image is uh, in clarity, but you can get the picture. Okay, so here you can see robot, right? So this is nothing but a service robot. So what this robot is doing here is it is refueling your vehicle. Okay, so simply you can just go and park your vehicle in the fuel station, and the robot will come, open your lid, fuel lid, and it will refuel the vehicle. So okay, you can avoid human interference there. So this is one of the service robot. So yeah, so here you can see this robot is cleaning the floor. Okay, so you have robots that can clean the floor. My idea of complete telling you, I've been showing you all these things is robot is just not a humanoid. Anything that does a programmed task is called a robot. Okay, so here this robot is refueling the airplane. Okay, so these are again service robots. You can, these are used in medical equipments. So these are robots in museums. They'll play ball. They'll be like a virtual assistant. So if you are not going for a museum, you can go in this robot as you. Okay. So okay. So how to build a robot? So this is the most demanding question. Okay. So why am I? So as I think you are from background of intermediate school. Okay. So now you might be asking this question to yourself, like, why do I require these robots? Like, why am I needing to learn all these robots? Okay, what is it used? Okay, one thing I told you is it's your watch. Okay, so without watch you cannot survive. But that kept aside, what is the other things that makes me learn these robots, and where can I learn these robots? How can I learn these robots? So all these questions keeps running in your mind, I guess. So I would like to address each one at a time. So let me tell you how to build a robot, or what is the integral parts of robots, so by that you can understand. So let's say that you have a human body, or any animal, or any creature in the world. Okay, what do they generally have? Okay, what do you have? You have a head, you have legs, you have hands, and you have mouth to talk, you have nose to smell, you have ears to listen. Okay, and you have a brain to think, right? So if I want to build another robot, I need to have all these parts inside a robot. Let me give you an example. Okay, so if I want to build a robot which can refuel the vehicle. Okay, so what do I want? Okay, so first of all, the robot has to see the vehicle. So I need eyes for the robot. Okay, and the robot has to remove the lid. So I need some kind of hand for the robot, and the robot has to think what to do. So all these things has to be thought by what to do. So the robot has to have a mind. Okay, when the lid is open, so the robot has to sense. Okay, so it should have some kind of sense. Okay, so basically even the robot should have all these things, all the senses, limbs, and brain. So all these things the robot should also have. Okay, so if I want to build a robot, I'll just show you one more example. all see this? I think this is shareable, right? Okay, so if you can see this, so this is nothing but this is a brain. Okay, so whenever I was talking about brain, we have human brain, but for a robot, this is a part of brain. So this is an Arduino controller. Okay, this acts as a brain to your robot. So whatever the instructions, whatever the sensors or whatever the activators, you have to connect to this. Okay, so this will basic thing that you need to build a robot. Okay, so this is one such controller. There are many different types of controllers. This is called Arduino. There is one more thing called Raspberry Pi. Okay, so whenever you want to build a robot, you need a brain, and this acts like your brain. Okay, so Arduino or Raspberry Pi. And what else you require? You require sensors, right? So, okay, you require motors. So to turn the wheel or to open the wheel. So you have a lot of motors. I think motors are something that you see day to day, or if you break up something, you will get a motor that is having I mean, if you can see these kind of motors, it is available everywhere, and you might be playing with them also. So if you just give plus and minus to a battery, it will run. Okay, so but using this controller, you can control the motor. Got it? So we need to program this one saying that, okay, so whenever the car comes, turn clockwise, or whenever the car leaves, turn anti-clockwise, something like that. If you program that, then what happens? Whenever the limb goes to the lid, it will turn anti-clockwise and the lid opens. Okay, so it's simple motor operation that you can get, right? And so these are some of the type of robots that is like built with a hobby purpose to make learn with the Arduino and Raspberry Pi that I have showed you. This is built with Arduino. So you can see this is a line follower robot. So basically what it does is it follows this line. Okay, so wherever this line is there, it keeps following. And this is another robot. Okay, so basically it is like it is having 4 legs and it can walk. So you can build robot like this with the Raspberry Pi that I have showed you. And again you can see this robot, right? So this is also walking here. So you can build these kind of robots. So I was telling you about omnidirectional robot. So this is one of the omnidirectional robot. He's explaining how to build, and let me see if he has like the working of it. So you can see the robot is moving in omnidirectional, right? Like it can move backwards, it can move forward, it can move right, it can move left, but your car cannot do that. So this is something that I was talking when I was telling you about omnidirectional robot. So it can move in all the directions. And I'll show you some robots. So this is a humanoid robot. Okay, so I think they programmed it to mimic the robot. So the left robot is mimicking the right robot is mimicking the left robot. So whatever the left robot is doing, the right robot is trying to do. So this is something called mimicking. Okay, so you can go through. I mean, you can simply type Raspberry Pi robot demo. So you will get a lot of robots that are used with by using Raspberry Pi or by using Arduino. So basically, with just this one and some sensors and everything, you can build a robot yourself. So what that robot is about to do, that's up to you. You can fix whatever it has to do. Then you can you can program the robot. This is the robot I built when I was studying. Okay, so I'll just show you that one. So this is a humanoid robot, but this is very small. You can see the leg. You can compare the size of the legs, right? So people are coming around. So you can see that it's very small. So this is also a line follower robot. So what my robot task is, it has to follow that red color line. So I made it. I programmed the robot in such a way that it has a camera. It sees the red color line. So wherever the red color line is there, it just follows that line. And I'll show you one more robot that I have built. So this is a robot called Baxter. So this is a robot called Baxter. So what it's doing is, it is again doing the mimicking operation. So whatever I am doing, it is trying to mimic my controls. Whenever I am moving my hand, it is also moving his hand. Whenever I am moving my left hand, it is also moving his left hand. So this is something that I think there is a movie called movie in English. Okay, so where you have boxing matches. Okay, instead of people fighting, they stay outside the arena and they make the robots fight. So they will fight outside. They'll be doing the action, but the robots actually fight. Okay, so it's like giving your skill and your talent to a robot which doesn't have it. Okay, so I think you have seen good examples. Let me come back to slides. So what is eyes for a robot? It's nothing but a camera. What is ears? Ears is nothing but a microphone. What is nose? So I'm just comparing with your human body. Okay, so I'll show you, like, there are different types of sensors. In our human body, we have 5 sensors, right? We have what are those sensors? We have nose to smell, we have ears to listen, we have eyes to see, we have skin to touch, and we have okay. Yeah, tongue to taste. Okay, sorry, I forgot the 5 senses then. Okay, anyways, so these 5 sensors, if I want to build it in a robot, so then how is it possible? Like, can a robot taste? That's the biggest question. Can a robot smell? That is one more biggest question. Okay, so yes, they can taste, they can smell, but not as we humans do. Okay, so they have something peculiar things. Okay, so when we are tasting a food, so what happens actually is, when you put the food inside your mouth, there is some kind of chemical reaction happening from your tongue and as well as the food. So this chemical reaction will create some kind of energy or impulse which is sent to brain. Okay, that's how you feel the taste. Okay, same thing go with the smell. When you see, you have this rays, light passing through your eyes. Okay, so that eye image is captured and again it is sent to brain. So your brain is doing all the control with all these sensors. So with all the 5 sensors that you have, but robot can have infinite number of sensors. Just in this website, we have around 200 sensors. So there is this sensor, current transformer. So basically what it does is, it will sense the amount of current flowing in a wire. Can you do that? Can humans do that? I don't think so. Okay, this is temperature sensor. So it will sense the temperature Exactly, like it will sense the temperature of the room or wherever we place. Can we do that? Yeah, we may do that. We can just touch something, or we can just feel something saying that okay, it's hot. Okay, but we cannot tell exactly how hot it is, right? So when your friend says hot and when you say hot, they might be two different temperatures altogether. So but this is a sensor which can exactly tell like how much hot it is or how cold it is. So this is nothing but a temperature sensor. Water flow sensor. So whenever the water is flowing, okay, in a pipe, so how much flow it is, like how much water is flowing per minute, or how much water it's flown from one direction to other direction. So this sensor can give you that exact information. Again, this is water flow sensor, same sensor. Okay, this is acceleration sensor. So I was talking about self-balancing robots, right? I'll just show you a video. I guess I can. Let's come back to the self-balancing robot we are searching here. Can you allow me to share the screen sharing?
Prem, you can enable Himesh to share the screen. Prem.
Okay.
After is PhD.
Okay, I got it.
Are you able to do it, Ma?
So we're doing self-balancing robot. I was talking about self-balancing robot. So let us see one video which does that. So see, there are two tires and it is perfectly still. Okay, so he's able to move the robot right and left. He is even trying to push it, but it is not falling. So this is self-balancing robot. Okay, so this thing you can do with this one. This is called acceleration sensor. So basically what it does is whenever you are moving forward or you are moving backward, we have that intuition, right, that we are about to fall or we are about to move ahead, or we are whenever we have that braking system. Okay, so we are moving ahead. Okay, so that intuition, so your brain gets with some kind, with all the sensors, but this robot has a specific sensor called acceleration sensor. So whenever you are moving in certain direction, it will tell you what direction you are moving and which direction the robot is going. So the robot will get a sense that, okay, so now I am going in this direction, so I have to lean back. Okay, so then if it is going backwards, then it will get a sense that, okay, now I have to lean forward. So these kind of inputs it will take, and it will never fall. Okay, so that's how you make your self-balancing robot with this sensor. This is a sensor called turbidity sensor. So basically what this sensor does is, you have your water, right? So you drink water every day. So there is a thing called TDS. So TDS means total dissolved salts. Okay, so if the TDS is high, you are not allowed to drink that water. It will cause you problems in long terms. Okay, so this sensor can sense whether the water is good or bad. So basically whether the water is soft or hard. Okay, so it can tell exactly how much total dissolved salts in the water, but we humans cannot tell that, but robot can tell that. Okay, so this is a sensor. I think now due to COVID, okay, so we are all using this one, right? Uh, Contactless temperature sensor. Contact. So this one, right? So you might have all seen this one, right? In the airports or in some restaurants or shopping mall, wherever you go, they'll have this mission. They'll simply put it to your hand or to your head, and they'll say that, okay, this is the temperature. Okay, earlier we used to have these thermometers that we keep in mouth, or we keeping on forehead. We will touch it to forehead and it can tell the temperature. But now it's contactless. So this is the sensor that can make that happen. Okay, so this is something that is based on IR rays. Okay, so it can tell you exactly how much temperature is there, even from a 5 centimeters apart. Okay, even 5 to 10 centimeters apart, it can tell like what is the temperature of the object. In this case, it's human body. These again current sensor we have discussed before. This is water sensor. So in agriculture fielding, so let's say you are farming. Okay, so I think most of your parents might be farmers. Okay, so they might be having this doubt whether the tank is full or empty. So they have to know, right? So how will they know? So someone has to go there and check if the tank is full or half or whatever. Okay, so if you put this sensor in certain places, okay, so it can sense whether the water is there or not. So you can simply say if the tank if you put this sensor at the top of the tank, whenever the tank is full, this will give you an output. Okay, so you can simply say that, okay, this now the tank is full. Okay, no need to go and check for the whether it's full or not. And this is ECG sensor. So basically it will give you heart rate monitoring, like you can monitor your heart rate. Okay, this is again one more sensor that you might use, is raindrop sensor. So basically whenever there is a rain, okay, so whether the rain is there or not, okay, so you can sense with the sensor. So the typical application would be you can keep it outside your car or outside your home. Okay, so whenever there is a rain, you can make a buzzer telling that, okay, now the rain is coming, so go and take your clothes and come back. Okay, so you might be drying up your clothes outside, right? So and you'll be sitting and watching movie inside, but you'll never know that the rain is coming out. So this sensor can help you. Okay, so whenever the sensors gives you an alarm, so then you can simply go and pick your clothes and come back inside. So in a car, whenever there is a rain, the wipers can automatically switch on. So I'm just telling you basic examples. Okay, again, it's left to your mind. You can do anything with it. Okay, it's left completely up to your mind. This is a soil moisture sensor. So again, in agricultural fields, what you can do is you can put the sensor into the soil and say, okay, now the plant is watered. Okay, so let's say the hot sun comes and the moisture in the soil gets dried up. Then you can intimate your father or someone telling that, okay, now the soil is dried up, again we need to rewater the plant. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, like this there are a lot of sensors. If I keep going, then you'll just come up with a lot of things. Okay, so there are a lot of sensors. Okay, so you can go through this website, or you can go through online, you can search, you can do research. So these sensors help robots to do things that humans are doing. Okay, so we are doing a lot of things. Even the robots can do a lot of things. Only thing is, there is a huge gap between robots and humans because they cannot think themselves. Okay, so uh, let's say you want to drink water. Okay, so we will just simply go to kitchen, we'll fetch a glass and we'll drink. Okay, so what if there is no glass? Then again you'll ask your mom where is the glass, or wherever it is. Then again you'll go there, you'll wash the glass, and again you'll drink the water. So these things you're doing on your own because you are able to think, okay, there is no glass now, so it should be somewhere else, so I'm going to go fetch my glass and I need to drink. But robots cannot do that. If there is no glass, it'll simply say that there is no glass and it'll come back. Okay, so that's how a robot is programmed. Okay, again you have to program that, okay, if there is no glass, then do this. So you cannot program every time, right? If there is no glass, then do this, and if there is no, it's not washed, then wash it. So these things you cannot keep programming the robot. Okay, it has to be able to think itself. That it cannot do. So that is something called AI. AI means artificial intelligence. So the robot doesn't have intelligence. So someone has to give that intelligence. So there are programs which are developing right now, still not yet developed, but which are developing slowly to build artificial intelligence. Okay, so it's still under process, but till today, robot cannot think itself. Neither it can feel emotions. So if someone is falling, okay, so it doesn't feel emotion. I think you all seen the movie called Robo, okay, of Rajnikant movie. So the main challenge that was addressed there was it doesn't have emotions. But in the movie, he magically does that. From a thunder from the sky will give emotions to the robot, but that doesn't happen in the real life. Okay, so in the real life, robots doesn't have emotions still. Okay, so that I don't think they will have ever have. So that's why robot cannot be human. Okay, so robot cannot compete with human anytime. Okay, so again we'll go back to the slide and we'll see what's balance. Okay, so micro robots. Micro robots. Where do we use that? Okay, so you know that, okay, so a very big robot can help you to do things outside. Let's say I build a humanoid robot. It can fetch you coffee or tea or whatever. It can give you uh, it can play with you, it can do many things. Okay, it's a humanoid robot, or it's a big robot. Okay, but what about micro robots? Where do we use them? Let's say you have disease. Okay, so this disease will have something called virus. Okay, virus is not visible to our human eye. So let's take an example of corona. So corona virus has a very small, it's very small, and it is not visible to our human eye. What if I make a robot, okay, that I'll simply put into my bloodstream, or I'll take it as a tablet. Okay, so that what the robot does is it will kill all the virus. Okay, it will go, whenever the virus comes, it will know that, okay, this is the particular virus that is coming, so this is not something related to our human body, so this should be eliminated. Okay, so it will go and eliminate it. Okay, you might be thinking if it is possible. Yes, it's possible. Okay, so still scientists are working on that. Many people are working on that to build micro robots that can enter your bloodstream and do your antibodies tasks. Okay, so micro robots are also used in surveillance. Let's say you have some small keyhole, or let's say there is a bomb disposal. So these micro robots can go and it can dispose that. Okay, so this is a robots. These are like small robots that are built as a cluster robots, in the sense these can work together. For example, one robot cannot do all the tasks. Okay, so let's say there are here grains are there. Okay, so these grains has to be moved into the center. Okay, so each robot cannot do, but a cluster of robots, I mean, all the robots working together, they can do it. So this robot will tell that, okay, I will put this grain into the center, and this robot will tell, okay, I'll put this grain into the center, and this robot will tell, I'll put this grain into the center. So they all talk to each other and they do the task in hand, just like we people do with our community, right? So this is called cluster robots. So basically they speak with each other. So now they are putting all the grains into the center. Okay, so here what you see is obstacle avoidance robot. So basically what this robot does is, whenever there is an obstacle in front of it, it will avoid. Okay, it will bypass the obstacle. So this is a simple robot. You can also start building it. Okay, there are many tutorials online. Okay, so now coming to the most interesting thing, humanoid robots. Okay, so do humanoid robots really exist? Yes, they do, but they cannot do the tasks that humans do. They only are programmed to do something. Okay, this is a famous robot called Honda robot. This was invented like 2000s, but still they're developing it to do the task that human can do. Okay, still it's still under prototype, so still it is not in production. So that's why you cannot see these robots everywhere. I think this is a huge brain. Okay, the robot doesn't have brain here, but it has here. So you can even keep the robot brain in the leg also. So if people ask where is your brain, then the robot will reply, it's in my leg. Okay, this is again Honda robot. They are testing the robot. They're trying to do some physical task here. So fiction to reality. So what is actually fiction and what is actually reality? So now you understood that Rajnikant robo movie is a fiction. Okay, but in reality there are no robots like that. Okay, so which can feel, or which can have emotions, or which can do tasks, that kind of tasks. Okay, it cannot run on trains, neither it can fight human beings. Okay, so the first rule of robot is, there are actually 4 rules. Okay, but that you'll learn eventually. But the first rule of robot is not to harm the human beings. Okay, never harm the human beings. So no robot designed properly will harm the human beings. Okay, so that's it. There are I mean, these are the robots that came from the early 1990s in the movies. If you've seen English movies, then you might have known. So to brief the things that we have discussed today. So basically, a robot is nothing but it has all the abilities that a human person can do, but only it can do certain tasks which it is programmed to do for. It cannot do every task. Okay, so like humans have brain, it has a brain which is called microcontroller or microprocessor. Like humans has senses, it has something called sensors. Okay, these are some sensors. And like human have hands and legs, it has something called motors. So using motors, it can do physical tasks. Okay, like removing the lid, for example. Okay, even for walking, I think you have seen this. Yeah, so even at the junctions here, I mean at the links or joints, okay, so you have motors. So basically whenever a limb has to move, then it uses motors to move. Okay, so this is a typical uh, mobile robot which has wheels. This is again, this one has motors in the joints. So yeah, so if a robot has to move, it requires motors. Simple, right? So again, what do we have in human? We have some sensors, we have mind, and we have actuators. So these three things put together, you can make a robot. So I would like to see, I mean, if any of you can build a robot, if you want to start with robotics, you can start with this one. This is Arduino. I think in Atal Tinkering Labs we have provided this one. Okay, so if you get a chance again to revisit the school or sometime, okay, you can see this Arduino. Okay, you can start programming it. You can start programming with the simple functions, simple sensors, and you can build a robot eventually. Okay, so this is the future. Okay, so the main objective of this program, whatever I'm telling you, is not to just build some kind of funny robots. So this is the future. Okay, so in future these electronic devices are so affordable and so cheap that you can have a robot to do your daily tasks. Okay, so let's say farming. Okay, nowadays it's very difficult to find labor for the farming. Okay, so to water the plants or to sow the plants, sow the seeds. So this I mean, it's very difficult to find labor, right? Because everyone is educated and everyone is going to school and they are finishing engineering or doctor or whatever course. Okay, and they want to have a good jobs, a decent life. So who else is going to do all these tasks? Someone has to do it, right? Like someone has to sow the seeds, someone has to water the plants. Otherwise, how are we going to eat? We cannot eat, right? So this is something called basic life need. So when humans are moving away from it, then at least robots should take control of it. So try something on that sense. Okay, so try to build an automatic motor or automatic watering system in your plants. I mean, in your field. Okay, if you have a field, and try to come up with products such that so that you can reduce the human labor power, and we can all live in a peaceful and equal harmony. Okay, so now that you are in a class of until 12, I guess, until intermediate or school age, so you can start with this controller. Okay, it is like very easy to learn. Okay, so you have a lot of tutorials, you have a lot of support system. So even we have something called blog. Okay, so in this blog you have all the data for how to do and what to do. Okay, so I'll just I think the internet connection is a bit slow. Okay, so yeah, I would like to conclude with this. I would like to give it to a correspondent. Mona, you can take the mic.
Yeah, like let us give 5 to 10 minutes for the students, those who would like to,
Ask
interact.
question.
Yeah, ask questions.
Okay.
Q&A session.
Okay.
If you have some things to ask, students can unmute themselves and then put forward a question.
Okay. Got it. So yes, if any students have any questions or any doubts related to whatever we have discussed till now, so you can just put forward your questions.
Yes.
Yeah, students, you can unmute yourself and you can ask if you have any queries or questions.
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
I have a doubt, sir. What are the basic aspects of robotics, sir?
What are the basic aspects of robotics? As in, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to know exactly? Tell me. Like, you want to build a robot yourself?
Yes, sir. Bluetooth robot. I have tried it, but by a coding mistake, it's failed.
Okay, okay. Keep trying. Okay, so there is nothing called failure. Okay, it's only learning.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
so
trying, sir.
you keep trying. Okay, if you have any doubt, I think you can contact me. Okay, so we'll see like in the webinar, like in the me. I mean, in any desk or team viewer, I can see like what is the problem that you are facing. Okay, but start with something small. Okay, start with something small. Try to connect your Bluetooth to
Yes,
your
sir.
phone. Okay, and start with
Yes.
doing some small operations like A, B, C, D. Then you can go with the robot. Okay, so that way you can learn what you are
Yes,
doing,
sir.
not just sitting copying or something, right? Any other doubts?
Yes, sir. What are sir? There are any industrial robots, sir, which can help us in industrials.
Yeah, I showed you right in the beginning slide. There are robots that assemble cars. So this is something that industrial robots will do. They'll assemble cars, or they'll assemble vehicles, they'll assemble products, toys, whatever the products that you are doing. Those are all assembled by robots.
There are
So,
totally how many various types, sir?
pardon? I didn't-
Explain the various types, sir.
I have
Already
showed you
sir
right.
has done it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Already sir has done it. He talked about flying robots, walking robots, omnidirectional robots, micro robots, macro, everything he explained, humanoid robots. Hmm? It is like asking, what is Sita to Rama after listening to the entire Ramayana. Huh? After
Okay, sir. Thanks,
listening,
sir.
yeah,
Thank
very good,
you.
Kushwal. Say,
Well,
your questioning also gives us, a viewpoint to understand how attentive you are throughout the session. So
yes,
students, physically you may be present in front of the screens, but mentally how alert you are, how careful you are in listening to the speaker or presenter. These are all the things, you need to cultivate. Very, very important. Yeah, very good. But I appreciate, your inquisitiveness, and you have come forward to ask a question. That itself is a very good thing. I appreciate and I congratulate you for asking a question first. At, at this age, that is very much encouraged. Very good. Yeah. Anybody else? If nobody, yeah. If no student is there to ask a question, then I think it is a time for us to conclude. I thank Mr. Himesh for taking us to the very interesting and thrilling world of robots. I personally enjoyed looking at every type of robot, variety of robots for performing variety of tasks. The word robot has been originated from robota. Robota means work. So the title itself tells the purpose of robot is work. So robots are designed to assist us, to help us, to make our works very easy. Instead of human beings involving in repeated tasks, okay, human intelligence and human creative abilities can be used for higher levels of solving problems by taking the help of robots in our daily mundane world tasks. So I personally thank you so much for enlightening us about the different varieties of robots and also the sensors. Amazing. No, sensor technology is deeply integrated with robotics. Communications, especially in industrial robots, you were talking so nicely about cluster robots, how they communicate with each other. We think only human beings are very good at communications, but robots also are programmed to communicate and perform a task in the given time, in the given way. So the beauty of technology, can be visualized if we are sensitive towards, the things, the knowledge, the subject, the skill. So I personally thank you, Himesh, for taking us through that wonderful journey. Throughout your presentation, I really enjoyed. I don't know about the students. I learned a lot. I usually love to learn. I usually love to learn. It is not the first time I sat with you. Many times in Bangalore office also, when you were talking about various technologies, I used to get immersed. So today again it happened. Complete 1 hour. I was deeply absorbed in your session, and definitely I have got many insights. And I will sit with you further for discussion with other
Yes.
industrial robotic communication. That is my main domain, communicative robot. I got many insights. I thank you so much.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you for giving this opportunity also.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
it's
if
our pleasure. It's our pleasure. See, there's no end for learning. There is no
yeah.
limit for learning unless we limit ourselves, unless we close our minds. So every day we can keep learning and admiring every subject. And robotics is going to play a major role in emerging technologies. And I request all the students to be very imaginative, creative, and innovative and use. Say he was talking about raindrop sensors. He was also talking about accelerator sensors, various types of sensors, and you can start innovating. He was telling you how you can take raspberry pi. So you can take some sensors and you can start building, you can start experimenting instead of sitting idly in front of TV and making your mind very dumb and very inactive. That is how you have to use your creative brain or creative mind to design something, to innovate something, and to make a robot to perform your own task at home. Say I have seen a boy working to develop a robot to pick up all the scattered objects in the house so that repeatedly his mom doesn't have to do the same. He designed. So just like that, students can also, it is not very expensive also, not very expensive. I know how students waste a lot of money, but for learning, technology is going to be the future. So if the students are not, bent towards using the technology or innovatively using the technology or designing something to solve problems at every stage in life, you're not going to be welcomed in the industry. So have positive attitude towards learning any technology. You don't have to be biased. Okay, I want this. That is not going to say. If you take healthcare industry in foreign countries recently, you might have seen how, because now human contact is very dangerous. During COVID, like a life threat is there. So what happened in healthcare industry? Many robots, they started serving the patients. They went and supplied the breakfast, they went and supplied the tablets, they went and supplied whatever is required near the bed. So you might have seen in hospitals. So how they have helped the human beings in the crisis. So you should be able to appreciate that. Then who designed them? It was a human being. So whenever there is a problem, so whenever there is a problematic situation, it is your human mind which has to think and emerge with a solution. So for that, you need to use a technology. So unless you are attentive, say, what is a motto of presenting you different, expert presenters with various technologies to you at this age? Definitely, before 3 decades or 4 decades, when we were students, we never imagined of the opportunities that are available today. So with a very good intention of providing exposure to the students, we request, domain experts to talk to you, to present to you, just to sow the seeds so that you will nourish them and you will water them and let the seeds sprout. And then you have to, grow in such a way, bearing fruits for the entire society, solving human problems in various situations. I hope you understand the purpose. So students need to be very interactive, very expressive, very communicative when an opportunity like this. See, again, you will not have an expert sitting with you to clarify your doubts. But when an opportunity comes like this, the students have to come forward, ask reasonable, questions or queries and get your doubts clarified and take your thinking to the next level. That's what you have to do. Recently, I just came to know about laser technology. in our diamond industry. It is my own mentor, Dr. Banu, who provided a solution to a diamond factory in Surat. So there, human being was capable of cutting some 8,000 diamonds, working 8 hours a day in a month. But the supply chain demand is more. Why are diamonds very costly? Why are diamonds very expensive? Because the supply is very less. So he wanted to give a solution to that particular industry where these robots perform the repeated activity, and using laser technology, using sensor technology, and integrating with the robotic technologies, he designed a solution, he innovated a solution, and he gave it to the industry. As a result, what is happening now? The product is launched, the system is being followed in the industry today. Like 8 lakh diamonds are cut. One employee is able to cut 8 lakh diamonds. See how the productivity has gone. See now increased productivity is expected in every industry. So if human beings are not able to provide this or come out with increased productivity, it is robots which are doing that. So just in a span of 2 years, a person was cutting 8,000 diamonds in a month, working 8 hours a day throughout the month. But now the same employee is allowed to cut using this robotic technology, integrating with laser technologies. He is able to cut 8 lakh diamonds, one employee. See the productivity, see the increase in productivity. That is how we have to think everywhere, wherever we are here to perform through our work, wherever we are here to show our performance, we need to integrate technology and we need to go for high level of production so that we will be the wealth generators everywhere using human capabilities. That is the purpose of getting exposed to all these technologies. And I feel personally, we are all fortunate to live in this era. If you take the positive aspects of technology, we are the most ever human race to have these comforts everywhere. Name any industry, we have been blessed to enjoy the comforts if you use technology positively. But if you fail to use it, it is a double-edged sword, we call it. It is going to destruct us. It is going to destroy us. So we human beings are very intelligent and wise. We should also enable the technology to be our servant by being always its master. And let us make use of technology in different dimensions of our lives. And let us come out with various innovations and creative outputs for this nation, for the globe. And yes, thanking once again Mr. Himesh for this wonderful session. And amazing it is. Thank you so much. And I wish all the best to all the participants. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Shall we end?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you.